No zoo would be complete without a monkey cage.
Hey, sister! Can't you read?
The Detroit Zoo will open in 5 minutes.
5 minutes, please. Just 5 minutes.
My lines! My lines! I can't remember my lines.
My makeup, my makeup.
Wardrobe! I say wardrobe!
How do I look? Seriously, how do I look?
Hey, honey, give me a little kiss before I go on, huh?
Okay, guys, this way.
Wrong way, guys.
Nice going, Melvin. My lines! My lines!
I want to talk to my agent.
Let me talk to your agent. Take it from me, you just gotta keep cool.
Positions, everyone.
Hey, no shoving.
Move away from me. I don't do that.
Hey, this place is a zoo.
Visit the Detroit Zoo and see how the stars live.
1 and 2
In
and...
your view, what role do zoos play in the United States, and what role does education play with the public with zoos today?
I think zoos play the same kind of role wherever they are if they're good zoos, or they should do. And in the US, I've seen this huge change in zoos over the years. And gradually people are beginning to understand that animals aren't happy in small, bleak cages with cement floors and iron bars. So we're seeing more naturalistic habitats. And the more that this happens, the more the zoo can play a role in education, because people can get some idea of how the animal behaves normally. That's because the zoos are appreciating the kind of social group the animal should live in, the kind of things it needs to perform at least some of its natural behaviors. And so, you know, the role the zoo can play in education is huge if it does it right, because it can educate people to the fact that in the wild animals are vanishing, and this is how wonderful these animals are, so let's get together and stop them vanishing.
As you know, the mandate for zoos and aquariums in the United States is primarily to be a conservation organization. Are they fulfilling that mission well, in your mind?
Some are, some aren't. There's a big difference, and I'm not going to go into all the names. One thing, I can't remember them, but the zoos that are playing a major role are, you know, raising this public awareness, and they're also raising funds. They also have programs in the zoo, things like captive breeding, and various kinds of, well, they have programs with frogs to try and breed the endangered ones in
Germany's
captivity.
Hanover Adventure Zoo uses baby elephants to attract visitors. To entertain them during their visit, the elephants have to perform tricks. Undercover footage recorded for a PETA Germany investigation shows a part of the elephant enclosure that is usually not accessible to visitors. Here, elephants are trained through violence and force. Using cruel training methods similar to the ones the circus industry is known for, the baby elephants are forced by zookeepers to obey and perform tricks. A favorite tool of these trainers is the so-called bull hook, a rod with a sharp metal hook on the end. The zookeepers repeatedly sink the hook into the animal's skin because the pain makes them more submissive.
I think that zoos were made for an opportunity for people to be exposed to pretty much every type of plant and animal that is not in their geographic region, to grow to experience. I know that there are several people who, zoologists, botanists, etc., who study at the university who don't have an opportunity to kind of go out and travel the world to experience different types of animal species and different types of plant species. And I think it's an opportunity for people to be educated on that, like school children and university students, and just people who generally enjoy that. So I think that that's probably one of the reasons for its creation. Back into the zoos, though, I think directly. I know that the city, for example, the city of Albuquerque has put a lot of taxpayer money into the zoos and tried to bring them in the community by having events there, like Run for the Zoo and other free events. So I think that a community viewing, like, you know, that free zoo day that we were talking about, I think that that's something that they use from the funding of all the purchases throughout the year. Improvements in bringing in other, like, different exhibits that maybe are not only animal-based, but plant-based, too. I think that that's really interesting. And I know that our zoo particularly has tried to improve different areas and, like, create other areas for different animals that we're hosting. Yeah, basically, I think that the money should go back to the facility itself.
Other animals, especially exotic animals. Little kids want to go see them, their parents have a nice place to take them. It is nice for people to be able to see the animals. What you don't want to do is keep them too closely confined. You want the zoos to give them as much space and as close to their natural habitat as possible. But yes, I think we should have zoos. It can be more humane. I think we can consider not just where they live, but how they live. Not just how they look, but what they need to do. I know Ms. Kowalski has a group that takes things for the monkeys to play with, so the monkeys have something to do other than just sit in the zoo. You know? So they need activities. They need something.
Here they come.
You see them?
You're right there. I am really surprised they're not coming over. You like teenagers want to avoid your parents? Look at she's stalking.
Hi, monster. Hi, Nadja.
How you doing?
Hi, beautiful girl.
What are you doing? Now you come over to say hello. You remember when you were little? You used to play, huh? And they look like they've been in there all their lives.
Yeah. So, Chris, I think we'll put them out every day and just gradually try to bump up the amount of time they're outside and increase their comfort level out here.
Hi, beautiful. When people hand-raise animals, they think you're taking the wild out. But you saw 2 wild tigers in there, and that was nice, and that made me feel good. Bye, girls.
There's a feeling among the people here that we are a part of something bigger.
Okay, Callie.
But all our effort, everything we do every day, is for the animals.
Hey, Mama. Here.
We care for them from the time they're born until the time they die. The reason that we have these 4 zoos and aquariums that we manage in the city of New York, the reason that we have the animals, the reason that we have the exhibits, and the reason we invite everybody to come here is so people can learn about animals, build a connection with animals, and support conservation efforts for these species around the globe. Nothing ever comes before what's best for the animal. The animals always come first.